LB.
Pertis.
Man, thank you again for showing up. Welcome to the studio, man. I'm gonna give you a countdown. Man. Bro, we go so far back. It's ridiculous.
About 1998.
Wow. Crack years.
I was 20, 21, 20.
Real? 98? That was about 25?
About 20, 23, 4, somewhere now.
All right, we have a warning up for these crack years. Welcome. That is really no way to bring it in, like laughing and having a good time and expecting people to take you serious with this topic. So I'm just going to say we here. And today I have a special guest, LB, a good friend of mine.
How y'all doing?
Introduce yourself, sir. How you want to, what you want to tell them? Cameras on you.
Well, I just kind of want to bring a little bit of my perspective, my ideas, what I think the crack years, how it affected us. And by the way, I'm LB. And Pertis go way back, like he said. And we're just here to have a conversation and to bring awareness to topic that seems like it may be old, but still very necessary.
Definitely.
So
it's definitely a necessary conversation that we need to have and definitely address. I need to, excuse me, work on my camera working. But while we doing that, tell me something, man. Everybody had a person in their family. You have a experience you're willing to talk about? Because I asked that because, man, every time someone and I get to talking about it, they will change that subject so fast. I've seen it happen like, bam, that subject gone. And we'll end up starting to talk about something else. So you and I, we were talking outside, but are you able to talk about it while we're inside just as comfortably, you know?
Yeah.
What's your experience?
I'm trying to, honestly, I've been around Black people all my life. And so we're talking about family members and directly like auntie or uncle or mom or dad or grandmother or anybody like that. No.
Yeah.
Honestly. But maybe cousin or something like that. Yes, I've had a cousin.
Gotcha.
Maybe a neighbor. You know, those people tend to be extended family members because you're around them a lot or what have you. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I definitely have had a family member or someone in close proximity to me that was on drugs, crack in particular.
Now, the reason I kind of started this, particular
How about
show.
You? How about you?
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people,
family
who didn't know somebody. That's the thing. It's one of those things we don't talk about.
How close?
It's like, it's so bad that no therapy session I've been to, unless I'm in, in AANA meeting or something, you don't hear about the horrors of those years. So when I say the horrors of those years, man, I'm talking about something way worse. Like I said, we're going to quit skipping around this conversation. And this is what happened. Let me tell you. And I'm talking about, I didn't talk to Gobsmack Visual Media. Like I said, this is a very serious topic. And I didn't even shave today, where it's so new of a topic that it's like anytime I can get something done, I'm trying to get it done right now because this is a big deal. So it's kind of like this. I realized that we had forgot some history. We're everywhere else, but when we talk about where's Grandmama house, everybody asking where's Grandmama house, where's Big Papa, where Big Mama. We used to have family reunions. Everybody asking that, and I'm like, I started asking that question myself. Like, where is it? And what I found was something I didn't like, and now I understand more as to why we from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I blocked it out. My brain went into a protection mode and it totally wiped that memory out. So it didn't wipe it out because guess what? It just put it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So it affected everything about me without me knowing it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's happened to everybody.
So you think that the crack years, which let's just put a time frame on it, or it's still going on, I guess,
Well,
without a doubt. So, but what are we saying, the early 80s, or what are we saying?
I was thinking like, man, I talked to my dad the other day and I was thinking like 83, maybe. But then I talked to this lady downstairs just a minute ago and she was like, she remembered when her cousin came from Chicago in 1979, 1980. And she was like, that was the first time she ever saw it. And she's like, she quit going over there. And I said, look at her proving my point right there. See, we keep talking about what happened to Grandmama and Granddad's house. We keep asking, I said, what happened to it? Damn it, she just said it. When those persons who were on drugs were at Grandmama and Granddad's house, there was eventually a group of the family decided, I don't want to go over there tonight. Grandmama, they and Grandmama inviting everybody. But, eventually it was like, I don't want to go over there.
But so eventually they just lost interest, but couldn't they?
No, they didn't lose interest.
In going over Grandma's.
They didn't lose interest. They just didn't want to be bothered with the drug addicts anymore. And the alcoholism. And, it had got too wild at Grandmama house because Grandmama taking care. She ain't going to let, it's
let everybody come.
Her son is the one on drugs.
Right. But the family as a whole couldn't stay unified enough to say we're going to deal with the shenanigans. I don't know.
I like to think we tried. And I know what is it? I know we tried, but once the pattern of giving up started, it was like we was out. And for the family members who had like a lot of kids, and I'm just speaking from what I'm remembering now that we're doing this show, and I'm not throwing salt at nobody, trying to talk about nobody's family. Right. I'm gonna do it. I'll take the hit. So one of my aunts, married, he passed. That's how they've been together that long. 5 daughters. They were one of the first groups I remember that wasn't at Grandmama and them house no more. You feel me? So as a father, I can see him saying, I ain't going over there with my daughters. They over there drinking, smoking, doing whatever. And these the crack years now. Because I remember I got pictures of all of us over here. But then all of a sudden things changed. And we wondering what happened. How come don't want to go to Grandma's house no more? That's damn crack years. And we forgot. We blocked it out. Not saying that these things happened in my family.
Right.
In the immediate, however, everybody knows crack changed our sexual morality. When we were coming up, there were some things a woman wouldn't do. It was some things you couldn't get a woman to do. We heard about it, but we ain't never seen it. You ain't putting that in my what? Not in my mouth. Am I lying?
No, I don't think you're lying. I think
So something happened on the way to heaven, brother. So what we're missing is what happened. It's like we don't want to address how did that happen, so when did it become okay? Well, guess what? I got the answer. You tell me what you think. Now, this is not hard to hear. Again, there's a warning going across the bottom of the screen. This ain't gonna be easy to hear. What we forgot was that the drug dealer also had the prettiest girl in school. Or let's just say the prettiest girl. Drug dealer had her. So now, if the drug dealer got the prettiest girl and the drug dealer has the crack lady doing whatever for crack, and they'll do anything for the crack. Now the drug dealer goes home to his pretty, beautiful, the most beautifulest of girls, and now she has to compete with that. You know that his sexual morality was like, he was like, I'm happy to be getting it. Now I got all this money.
I can get whoever I want.
Do whatever I want to. I cut you loose. And a lot of them girls ended up being on drugs. You feel me? So when we looking at that from a standpoint of let's be honest about what happened, when we looking at this from a standpoint of let's be honest about what happened. Now, those same girls, the most beautifulest of the girls, dating the crack guy and doing these things. Now, what the young ladies who don't feel so confident in themselves, who weren't the prom queens and queens, they weren't that, all dressed up in Gucci's, and they weren't that. What they got to do now,
right,
to compete with them if they doing this,
right?
So we go another level in our ladies, our women having, because of, again, those crack years and us losing that part of us, and us not remembering. We don't want to remember if that's what happened. And those men lost their morality. And here's something else. I'm going to talk about something terrible. I want you to ask about this, because you heard about some men having to do that too. That they lost their morality for the drugs. You hear about the men with their mouths for the drugs.
There's a lot going on.
Here's the part we don't want to talk about. Remember, I just said the most beautiful of girls, right? Who was the dudes having the crack dudes do it too? See, we don't want to talk about that, because now you're talking about the thuggish, ruggish of the bone dude, Mr. Tough guy, crack dealer guy. Well, he wasn't sucking mine.
Right.
So whose was he sucking? Whose was he doing these tricks for, if not them? And we ain't addressing none of this because we don't want to go deep into this conversation.
Right.
The same thing.
Right.
Was happening.
It was definitely a lot going on. And the right word is the morale was. The morality is just gone.
Yeah.
Because of the love of the drug, the crack years. But it definitely destroyed. It was like basically like Hurricane Katrina of the 80s. Just washed that community away, basically. You had, for those that wasn't on it, the effects of someone dealing with somebody that was on it was hell.
Bad too.
In itself. So, I mean, everybody suffered.
I don't think it was a person that wasn't affected, because it was such a long period. And I say at least 20 years, the 80s to 96, almost 2000, it kept going. Not to mention I'm up in here in my trauma school going to therapy. We ain't even got in there yet.
I mean, that's definitely going to have to be something that has to be addressed. Therapy and basically with black people in general, the whole idea of being, having a therapist.
Right.
But yes, this will be something that will have to be discussed in therapy as well.
Man.
We got to get people to the doctors for health reasons. We got to get people to and a therapist is a doctor. I mean,
Yeah.
So we just get an F in that category a lot because we don't even, as far as health wise, want to go see the doctor. And so this is your doctor for your mind.
And that in itself is messing with the preacher's money, ain't it? Or the preacher's job.
Well,
in our community. And I say that to be sarcastically funny. And here's why I say it. To be sarcastically funny. The God teaching me these laws, how to get into heaven. That's his job. Now, as far as specifics and details on stuff, like I'm having a problem with rape, incest, murder, death, killed in the family, lost wife or something. That's for therapy. That's what they go to school for. And we dropped the ball on that, trying to go to liquor stores and churches. I don't think we took those people's jobs serious as we took the things we saw on TV. And I'm going to say this, I say it on TV. We love to do what rich people are doing, right? Except for go to therapy. Because, every time you see a show and they got some money, they go to therapy. We didn't do that part.
Well, we definitely missed parts on stuff a lot.
We did not join. We did not join in that one. We'll partake in everything else, but we don't want to partake in that part where we got to go in here and talk to somebody about the stuff that happened in our lives.
And I don't think preachers should necessarily all that trauma. I just don't.
Well, first off, his ass ain't no therapist. He needs to learn how to read. First off, I'm not finna go into my get on preachers' asses tonight, but it ain't his job. It's like,
right. I mean, and then you got 200 or 300 members. I mean, how much of that can you really hear anyway?
Man, say that 16 more times, because I don't think they heard you in the front. Because, bruh, who's the most important person to the preacher?
The tithers.
The tither with the biggest 10.
Right.
So they got a jet so they can fly to make sure they go see them way in Colorado if they need to. Because, you know what I'm saying, that's that 10% of gangs of money. And, we collecting our money, we'll fly to go get it. I ain't saying they doing it, but they doing it. Allegedly, I'm saying they doing it. But again, my point is this. We can't get off the subject, crack ears. Yeah, forget preachers not doing their job. That ain't important right now. This right here, having this discussion is not so much like what happened to the community. No, it's what happened to the world. Because what people don't know, and you and I do know these things, there's a whole nother group of people outside back when we met in the early 90s, the 90s, late in the middle 90s, was it middle late 90s.
Late 90s.
98 what?
98.
So that's young. We was finna getting ready to go into 2000, and everybody had kind of been, I'm gonna say, smoking weed strong for about 8 years. Like class of 91, the chronic started for me then, pretty much. It wasn't nothing before that. Not for me. Had a couple of friends that said they were smoking in high school. So I think that's when our marijuana year started. Mm-hmm. But now you're taking a group of kids, they coming out of high school, they smoking weed. Guess what? Those are we should be called the crack babies. To be honest, because we were like, when the crack hit, we were babies. And we were not aware of why the fights were happening. We weren't aware of it. we didn't know what the fight was about.
You got to realize we are men of a certain age. I think we are definitely representing the crackheads, some of the crackheads that's out there.
Yeah.
Don't think we not.
That's what I'm saying, though.
If you did a case study on that, we got a strong group in there, I guarantee you.
That's what I'm saying. And we don't talk about it.
But
why don't we? It's that painful because you got to talk about everything if you talk about some of it.
I mean, but okay, again, we kind of talk off air.
Yeah.
We gotta so the crack years, what is our mission? What are we trying to do? We're trying to get people to talk about it, right?
Well,
the trauma that it brought. That is because that is where the healing is the talking about it, right?
That is the healing. And a lot of people are going to disagree and say, you ain't got to talk about it. You ain't got to talk about it. Look here. We talking about something that we forgot.
Families, see, you digging into something. That's why I told you off camera. This is something that is, and I asked you, was you sure you wanted to do it? And you said yes.
I'm Project Humanity.
Well, and beyond that, God told you to.
And God said, you better.
So it's definitely something you digging deep into because the trauma of it all,
bruh,
and the fact that Black people do not talk about any issues.
None. Zero.
None. And you trying to get them to address one of the top 3, probably. So
I think this might be. This goes, this is hurtful because it's not slavery. You feel me?
Right.
Like we can talk slavery.
That was because we can blame.
Yeah, we can blame somebody.
Right. This is the mirror. And talk about this, you gotta look in the mirror.
You got it right down. All right, but yeah, that is You messed me up because that is, we don't want to talk about that. I'm over here showing bald spots. I ain't coming here. That's why I said this is important. I ain't trying to look good on this because this is you ain't got to be happy on this one. Yeah, like I said, God was like, because Project Humanity, I'm trying, man, you know me a long time. Save the world, guy. And it's hilarious that you didn't know me that long. 26 years. Wow. 98. So we've been hanging. Well, we ain't been hanging the whole time because life is. But to know me 26 years, you done seen the changes and the differences in who I have grown to become.
Right.
So finding this to me is like God gave me the keys. Now this one right here. It's going to be tough. Nobody wants to do this. However, this is what I did. I do the stuff on the men's groups. They got the LGBT groups.
So
Reach with the cameras and talk to some people.
Some crackheads. Talk to some families.
I want to go in so many different directions. However, one of the ways is people who used to be on drugs and they not on drugs no more. And that's a part of their life where you really don't even discuss that no more, But
you need somebody needs to see that person.
Somebody need to see that person. And we wrecked some cars. You feel me? Now, do I expect the mother to come in here and say, I used to drop my daughter off at the crack house? Not in here. I don't. We all know that happened though. So that's not an expectation I have. Not here. Surprising if that did.
Comfortable setting for the people, I don't know.
I just think it's something that we haven't really discussed. Everybody keep talking. Why ain't we at grandmama's house no more? Why ain't men like men no more? Why ain't the women doing this no more? Everybody keep talking that. And so Project Humanity, I'm trying to figure out how can we get these folks to work together? How can we get them to quit hating each other, love one another a little bit better?
Speaking on the family.
Huh?
Speaking on the family.
Speaking on the family what?
These people mean
and no, everybody, everybody's forgotten for me too. It was like when God gave it to me, it's like, he started playing like, man, you got something. That's when I knew this. Let me spend some time meditating on this. And as I did, I realized, let me run some tests. Let me talk to some people, and let me see if what I think is true. Man, do you know I have never had a conversation with nobody, they changed the subject so fast? Never in the history of my talking to nobody. I'm talking about literally, I was talking to this dude outside. I asked about the crack ears. He straight went to start talking about fishing. And I actually was talking to somebody today. I changed the conversation because I saw they were not going to have that conversation. You know, because, you know, I asked them, you know, I'm doing this docu-series about the crack years. Did you have any family members, you know, went through some stuff? And they'd be like, yeah, I had a lot of family members in that. And then it'd be like, as soon as that statement came, and I'll be like, so, you know, I'm trying to, you know, discuss how that affected us and how that broke up grandmama's house and this, that, and the other. And they'll be like, yeah, man, so and so. And then, I mean, within seconds, we'll be at Bass Pro Shop or something, buying fishing gear. And he telling me about how many fish. I'm talking about this happened so many times.
I mean, you gotta, like I say again, I asked you offline, do you know, I'm up for a challenge. I'm sorry I am. But it's somebody's mom, it's somebody's dad, it's somebody's grandmother, it's somebody's granddad that's gonna be the person. And so
and that's
serious.
And I think that's why it was.
For us, it wasn't that.
Right.
But for somebody else, it was.
It is.
And so.
And I think that's why this ain't a likes and shares deal for me. You know, this is probably the hardest thing God has ever asked me to do. And it's like, you ever been looking for something for a long time, and then you get excited you found it, and then you realize what you found is not what you wanted. You found Pandora's box, and you got the keys to open that sucker. So what you gonna do? Well, God said open the box, because guess what? The only way for y'all to heal is you got to deal. And I'm just here to start the conversation. I'm not going to be nowhere near the person that finishes it. I go to damn therapy. I have a therapist. I'm saying this made me realize the importance of getting everybody into therapy. Mm-hmm. You feel me? You know those plans I showed you that ain't nobody read? That you probably... It's like I spent the past couple of years, 3 years, 3 years, past 3 years trying to get people to understand that these plans will help. And I guess everybody was like, they won't help. Nothing we going through right now.
Actually,
that's how we get through this.
Absolutely. It's it's definitely a topic that and something that we need to provide some information for next podcast. We need to have some numbers, because I feel like that'll solidify even more what we're trying to do. Like getting some numbers, some therapy, somebody they can contact.
Yeah.
Put some numbers out there, because, yeah, you're right. It starts here, but it has to, it has to be some information out there for people.
I'll definitely, like, we're going to record this show. We're not going to do live on this probably ever. But we're going to record this show, so I'll probably add some names and numbers to the end.
Yeah.
For closing it out.
And we need to get partner up, because it gives them an opportunity to ask some questions. And not everything has to have a cost, just being able to ask something that might be in a dire question that they've been wanting to know an answer to for
You know, this is that moment when you be like, people don't, like your own boy ain't watch the show and don't know that you offer free therapy on Saturdays up here. I'm like, dude, like,
I mean,
I'm gonna have to. We gonna have a long talk, but I'm gonna just tell you the real talk. Lamar ALB called me. And I was like, no, I called you, didn't it? I was like, you coming back? Either way,
right.
however, to find out he was right around here and he was willing to come to the show. Yeah, I'm like, stop what you're doing. Let me change these cameras around, get him in there, because I'm like, we got if I can figure out how to make this work. You know, sometimes I need a translator. Lamar's can translate. Am I on the wrong side? Lamar's can translate. Am I looking at you on the wrong? Do I need to move these? Yeah, did I miss that? But again, you can translate for me.
And I'm,
you know, because
and yes, I do need to watch the show and support. I hadn't.
It don't hurt.
I didn't know that you were offering
free therapy.
Yeah.
I care.
People use that. I mean,
I care.
Let's grow all the way up, basically.
That one right there.
Let's grow all the way up because we need to.
That one right there. We should do it for the children, man.
Yeah, be a better person all the way around the board.
You know,
you can help. You can help somebody.
And that's for me. The reason I'm doing this is because I got help.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw how it changed the way I see things, how I think, how I view life, how I reevaluated my whole life. And trust me when I say, and you know this too, fall down all the time. Get right back up and tell you about it. And guess what? You know, it's not a giving up. It's this time, pay attention to this, this, and this. So it's like working on it.
Right.
Every day. So for me, we got to stay on the subject matter. I told you, this is an easy subject to get off of. Nobody wants to discuss it. We have to deal with this one. And I know you asked me, what's the goal? What's the big picture here? I don't know what God doing right now, dude. Honestly, it's scaring me to good gracious, because it's like, has you ever had that feeling like, I finally found what I was looking for? And you're excited. And then you start driving and riding home. And then you still excited and you tell somebody and they like, that is a big deal. And ain't nobody you talk to said it wasn't a big deal. They either change the subject or they talk to you about it. And that's another spooky part, is no haters on this one. Nobody hating on this one. So it was like this morning it hit me and it was like, you know what you finna do, right? Or was it was one of these days, it was like a can of worms. I think it was the eclipse day. And it was like, you open up a can of worms. And so I Googled that to see, what does that actually mean? Because I said, it's like you opening up something bad. But then you open up some worms, you're catching fish. So Googled it, and it said, you're opening up something that's extremely serious. And it has so many different things that are going to come with it. Mm-hmm. So many more worms in this can that are going to be attached. Well, you kind of like, I'm just seeing all this stuff flash that you just forgot you know. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, damn, you know this. You remember that, heard that story. And then to think about the ones you didn't hear, didn't see. And this is not just one group of people, this is all us. Yeah, it's a scary one. But then God was like, look, how y'all gonna ever figure out where grandma and them went? How you gonna ever figure out what happened to the family? How you gonna figure out why y'all can't be in relationships no more? Why y'all can't figure out what's a man role? What's a woman role? Y'all can't figure none of this out? Well, shit, it's because of the crack years. That's why. Y'all forgot. Y'all forgot the crack years. See, we lost trust. We lost mama and them. We lost daddy and them. We lost uncles, brothers. You remember, you always hear the stories from these young ladies about the touchy uncles. You always hear it. And you always be thinking, that shit way back. No, that was in the 80s, the 90s. It wasn't way back. We sitting up here like that was in the 60s and the 50s and the shit. No. That shit was in the 80s and the 90s.
Well, more importantly, that's their trauma that they still dealing with.
And they, like most of the world, have seen zero counselors. They went to church and liquor stores. Here's something else I'm gonna help them out with. Let me tell y'all what happened to the men and women relationship. For 10,000 damn years, we was watching football in the living room by ourselves, and y'all was in the kitchen hiding wine. That's what happened to it. Now, you might not like this, but this is some truth. That's what happened. Is the crack years were coming. Grandmama and granddaddy had changed how they were doing things. Mm-hmm. Mama and daddy decided, you know what? Mama can come out the kitchen. Come on in here, baby. Take some shots with us. Women didn't take shots. Women didn't even drink alcohol when I was growing up. They drank fruity flavored stuff, Bartles and James wine coolers. They were ladies. They hid the little pen joints they smoked. They went to the ladies' room to do their coke. They didn't do nothing in front of you that was even seemingly going to be deemed unladylike.
That's true.
We used to have ladies of the night that we paid to do stuff. I mean, that they paid to do stuff like that.
Right. You're right.
Now, you're going to tell me, we remember this growing up, coming out of high school. And in 1991, that was my years till now. For 10,000 years now, this side been. Ladies of respect and slips.
Right.
And then we forgot it all. And we act like this is some kind of sexual liberation. No, this is the crack years in competition. This was like the crack Olympics of sex. The crack dealer got all the money and got the most beautifulest of girls doing all this competition with this crack girl, who is somebody's mama, like you said, who is probably the last prettiest girl.
Right.
Who got kids at home, who are being neglected, and the dad is gone because he out here doing the same thing mama doing.
Right.
To the same dude who is out here getting all these different girls pregnant. See, it's a lot of levels to this terrible. And all the girls wanted the guy with the rims and the... See, we forgot about the years of rims and boom in the cars. Them were the damn crack years, y'all. We were listening to Kid and playing Kwame, dancing our asses off, and we called something else crack music. No, they had us lost in this world, listening to some of the best music you could have ever listened to. Luther, Witness, and Hammer them out here. We juking, all for the drug dealer to buy pieces for everybody. That's what we was doing. Yep, that's what we're doing. People were sleeping all under houses and fucking kids being raped left and right.
Abandoned.
That's, man.
Left in the house for weeks at a time.
Dude.
Just all kind of, like I say, it's...
That's when I quit working with CASA, Court Appointed Student Advisors. It's because I saw this. They was abusing these kids, and the judges was just letting them go. They got a drug problem. No therapy, nothing. Just like, so what is my damn job again? Oh, depress the shit out of me? Oh, that's what my job is? Oh, depress the shit. Let's depress the shit out of Pertis and have it. Why don't you? Mm-hmm. Let's fuck him up in the head. Why don't you? You know, why don't we do that? Why don't you? So for me, it was kind of like the worst. I gotta fix something over here. I just noticed something. But yeah, it was it's that forgotten time that we do not want to deal with. I mean, at all. But we have to, because guess what? How can we do anything for these children if we're not willing to address this? How can we do anything to help them if we can't address this? This is why they don't like us. This is why we can't parent them. This is why we don't have a decent relationship in our life. Why we don't have no trust. We ain't got zero trust. We got trust issues like what? The first generation to get in an argument and get divorced. You know what I'm saying? I remember gunshots and they still married. You know, domestic violence and we got a gang of excuses like grandmama wasn't happy with granddaddy. Granddaddy, how you know granddaddy wasn't doing no.
They stayed though.
They stayed. And here's the thing: we got 1,000 excuses for why it is and all this when we really hiding from this damn conversation. Why we got trust. This is why we don't think that we can find somebody that we can deal with like grandmama did. Why don't we think we can put up with that shit? It's because the crack years and tow us up. We got zero trust in this world for anybody. We don't love nobody but self. Everybody is actually what they say, what they're doing. They are teaching self-love in every, basically.
You're right though.
Everywhere you go.
Every platform is kind of self-love. And it's important, but there is so much needed to be spreaded in this world.
You know.
Because we are headed very fast to some stuff I don't know if people really want to see.
But see, that's why I said I got to do this. You feel me? It's because we headed fast somewhere we don't want to do, somewhere we don't want to be, rather, like you said. So how do we fix it? Oh, yeah, that is a good point. Repent is a good point. Let me put that back up there. We can repent. Now, having to deal with what that means is kind of, I think, where don't nobody want to go to. Now that I've discovered this, I was like, you asking people to repent, everybody to repent. Now I'm feeling a little bit different about that. I understand because I'm telling you to go make amends with the person. And now I'm seeing.
So is that what you're really asking?
I'm saying
because if they repent, then you saying do they have to make amends with the person?
Once again, if you understand Project Humanity, and if you read the damn plans, it says it. This is not about punishment. It's not. It's about healing. There are some things that we're going to have to discuss that took place. However, this is about healing and not about punishment. And if the world has forgotten, for the most part, 20 years of punishment, delayed, I feel no different. Well, I do kind of feel different. If you intentionally are doing stuff and your ass is sober and conscious of what you're doing compared to being drug addicted, you feel me? It's like there is a difference that I think we got to look at. But again, look at the plans.
We're not here to put nobody in.
I ain't trying to put nobody in jail. Look at the damn plan.
Jail or hell, right?
Incarceration is the last thing I want to do.
Right.
That's the last thing I want to do. Now, if you're murdering, raping, murdering child, murdering, killing, well, of course, we're going to have to do something with you. Of course, extensive therapy in a halfway house somewhere, no kids ever. And you can be, working into society some kind of way. I'm sure is a way to work people in some form or fashion into a stable mindset. I like to believe that. I think we can eradicate demons is what the shit it is up in our bodies. We can get them damn demons out, whether it be a love of money demon, a love of alcohol, a love of drugs, a love of sex. All people do crazy things when they are addicted to something.
That's true. That is true.
So I'm not here to fight with anybody. I'm here to say that, look, I found something, and it scares me. And that's why I'm asking people for help. Let's talk about this. Yeah, like I said, we're the beginning, the easy part. But this is way deeper than a pond. This is like, it's Jupiter water. And us dark-skinned folks, we already don't want to talk about nothing. So imagine having to find out that the stories that we were talking about, Uncle Nem used to do something and Grandmama didn't say nothing. Oh, we're talking about Grandmama's son. You feel me? And see, luckily, Grandmama's son didn't touch me.
Correct.
You feel me? So Grandmama's son. And so when we start to get older and we start to not even, ain't nobody said nothing. But now you starting to see, oh shit, some people don't come around no more. Well, you remember Grandmama's daughter? Yeah, it's diamond rings missing. You remember your mama somehow loves to pick up stuff? Dropping me off stuff so she can get some drugs. And I was lucky enough that the guys didn't do nothing. Or, which is more likely, the horror story of what they did to them young girls.
So,
and
what if a person don't have a forgiving, what if the person, you bring all this back up and they don't have a forgiving heart? Or they just like, because people are different, and people, it's just like somebody, like back in the day when somebody broke their leg and didn't go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. They walking again, but they got that limp. Mm-hmm. Where they could have got their leg straightened and it'd have been all right. But it's like I say, it's gonna be tough. But like you say, it needs to be done. So
yeah, dude,
you can't worry about that though.
It's like God's got me in a chokehold, and it's like, you got to do this, and this sucks. And guess what? This fixes it though. And then I'm like, how is it fixing it? Me over here talking to a podcast, and then I was like, hey, look, you remember them plans I gave you? Go read them again. And when I did, I was like, you gave me them 3 years ago. So it has the mental health part in it. It has the leniency on admitting you did something. That part is in there. You coming forward and saying, I was wrong. I did this, and this. Because it's about trying to get that person help and treatment.
It frees everybody up.
Yeah.
There's blockage.
Right. Let's get this. Let's get this done. It is the problem. It is why I can't find my couples walking hand in hand no more. Why I can't see the kids laughing in the damn parks walking down the street while we all scared to death of each other. It's because we lost trust in one another during those years, man. And then subconsciously, right here in the back of the little Pandora's box in your head, it's got a crack in it. And every time you get close to somebody, it'd be like, rah, crack problems, crack years. Guess what? Rah, they gonna leave you. They gonna do it. It's the worst thing that can happen. And you got to get into protection mode. You got to take care of yourself because, self-preservation, that's the key to life. And so anything that happens, you triggered. I don't want to get hit like mama got hit just because they raising their voice. You know, I don't want to get done like this. I don't, and then on so many levels, you got to think about this now. In doing these things sexually, who do you think they were doing it to? The drug dealers, our roughest, toughest, rootinest, tootinest, cowboy shootinest, He-Man hustlers that we don't want to discuss this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like real talk though. See, luckily, back when I was out there being stupid, I was in the weed gang. Ain't nobody doing nothing for no weed.
Right. Well,
But hey,
more importantly,
it's a lot of stuff.
yeah, it is a lot of stuff. But more importantly, we are. It's that family unit, that trauma. That's what we're trying to unblock.
Yeah.
Open the lines of communication for these people and their family members.
Somebody got to take that hit, and I'm glad. Thank you for coming in and taking the hit with me, man. Because it's like I found this, but this is where I'm gonna ask people to help me because I can't carry this. This is a heavy one, and I'm finna go back around the country again, maybe. But I gotta go out here and meet the people again. This affects everybody, and I want to be able to talk to everybody again. And we have to protect the kids for the next generation, man. And the only way to do that is for us to start healing. We can't be talking about we healing ourselves. I'm healing. I'm that's what we saying. Everybody on TV. I'm healing myself. It's all no, you ain't.
I've never seen a psychiatrist, and I need to.
Dude, everybody. After I realized this, there's not one of us that don't need to talk to.
I mean, if you even have ever had a loss,
yeah,
you never. I mean, we've all been through something that we could stand to talk to somebody about it.
Agreed.
That doesn't even have they can't have a judgment because for one, they don't even know you.
Good point.
That's a good thing about it.
And when I started these mental health talks, it was to remove the stigma of the need for mental health and people going to therapy. I wanted to remove it, and I had no idea that I can justify everybody needing it. Now I can justify everybody needing it. Sure can. Because I don't care who you are, you experienced it in some kind of way, form, or fashion, whether it was right here in your house.
There should be something in place people should be able to get at least about 5 or 10 hours a year.
Shit, I'm going to say more than that.
I mean, I'm talking about everyone. It should be like either a part of some kind of, whether you own some kind of fixed income or you getting Social Security, if you're getting disability, however your income come, there should be something taken out to get you some.
They saying what's in your plans, but hey, thank you for being here because that's going to help those plans get to fruition, as they like to say. So there is a part of Project Humanity's under construction plan that has that free healthcare for everybody, and it's online. So you can, in case can't get there, you can do it on your app, on your phone, or on your laptop or tablet.
Healthcare or to get this mental health?
Mental health.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's how I do some of my group therapies or online. Because I started again during COVID, and couldn't go see them. So we did the online therapy, and that's what gave me the idea. Like, wait a minute. Hold up, no, I think I did the plan. I can't remember which one was first. Was I doing the plans first or the online therapy? All I know is plans were in 2021. That's what I remember. But anyway, So the plans are for you to be online group therapists and individual counseling available. So say for instance, if I need some counseling, right? And I'm Jackson. However, I'm extremely popular in Jackson. So I don't want nobody to know me. So I log in to the group therapy and it takes me to Seattle. So now I'm in a group therapy session in Seattle. I don't want to do individual. I like group. So I go to a group therapy in Seattle and nobody knows me there. Mm-hmm. And guess what? In that session, they from Chicago, they from New York, they from Hawaii. But the situation, the program will always keep you away from.
So you have that in place now?
I have it in writing.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can get funded.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's how it works. So the online group therapy, free for everybody. Most people have a cell phone right now anyway. However, trying to get Walmart or Amazon or whoever else loves the people to donate some of those ones that they don't never do nothing with, instead of throwing it in the trash, the returns, you don't donate some of those so that the people can use them for online group therapy. Get some of the internet. We need internet in every city, wireless. Well, I don't know what we're doing in America, sending billions and trillions of dollars over there to blow stuff up when we can have internet in every house and fucking boat on the lake. So it's just a lot of stuff that we need to force our politicians to do by firing a whole shitload of politicians. That's what we need to do. Got to fire a whole shitload, and then we can get some stuff done that actually makes sense for America. And we can't do that if we fighting for women's rights and men's rights and gay rights and fucking baby rights and baby wipes. It's just one divided country of America. There's nothing united about it. And I'm trying to figure out, what are we doing? So God is like, hey, here some ideas. Me talking to 26 years, man, we'd have been a cover. And again, we can't get off this topic either. These are the crack years we're talking about. So, and we have to be willing to talk about the worst and the worst of the worst stuff, and at least pushing people to therapy stuff.
I can honestly tell by the conversation that we didn't experience near about some of the things that others have.
No, we didn't.
Because I know of some stories.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my family directly.
Right, and that's why it's hard for me to I don't want to tell people stories, but I'm going to figure out how to work some in. I've heard some stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff.
Yeah.
And the stuff I've seen wasn't good.
Right. So the story is out there.
But this is the thing that I'm understanding and trying to get people to remember. The reason why the plans have so much of a forgiving nature, of a something that they didn't know they were a lot of times.
Well, yeah, they don't have no sense of time.
You can be lost.
Cleanliness or none of it. It basically it's a soul. Mm-hmm. It takes the soul,
right?
And it takes the person, because the person, in a lot of cases, if you can escape it, you've done amazing, because in most cases you're done.
Yeah,
I hate to say it quite like that.
No,
the finality. I think in a finality, finality. Am I saying the right word?
What we're doing right now, the finality of it.
Yeah,
I think what we're doing now is to help those people who got to that point where it's like almost hopeless. You know what I'm saying?
And so just being around and seeing people, they be so angry.
Yes,
a lot of them be angry. And I know it's frustrating. Because I gotta believe they angry because I think something is still in them. Like, how did I get here? But more importantly, they probably angry because they want some more dope.
Well,
And I hate to say it like that, but that's a true statement, I'm sure. But they be cussing to themselves or arguing with somebody. You see a lot of them
yeah.
walking the street, they just be upset. And it's probably because they just didn't realize it was gonna be like that.
I don't know, man. It's just so many different levels to this, and it's so crazy. It's like, where do you point it at? Because the person who is out there a lot of times may have family that's taking care of them, who's giving them money, offering them a place to stay, who giving them a job opportunity, and they are just still wanting the drugs more than the change in the life. So,
but a lot of them are on the street because the family had to make a choice.
yeah,
My safety and my serenity versus your addiction and you.
And you know how hard that is for a mother.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, to tell her son get at and just walk the street.
It probably got to the point where she just had to for her own safety.
The saddest thing I heard, man, and I know I'm gonna go and talk to this person who says this, but I heard somebody say, it breaks their heart that their child is in jail, but now they can sleep good because
get a little meal.
They scared every night when they out of jail. So
now they know where they at.
They know where they are now. So yeah, it's so many different things, man. It's like we can't sit here and say it's because they were poor. No, Hunter Biden, crack pipe in his mouth. What you talking about? It ain't because you're poor. Access to everything, wasn't it? So what we're dealing with is what we don't want to remember, what we don't want to discuss. See, we had some of the best music in the 80s. I'm like, you want to talk about jamming? It was the 80s going off. And I'm sitting here thinking, how many of them was on Freebase cracking it? How many freebasing and cracking? We got so many of our fantastic, baddest ones leaving here with some kind of strange drug and pill addiction that none of us seem to know anything about. Well, I'm going to tell you something like this. Well, you already know. Some of my baddest raps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Y'all may not know this. So, I used to be a rapper back in the days. Yeah.
And so,
I'm not even finna tell y'all my old name. I'm leaving that alone. We working on something that makes sense here. But yeah,
you're right. An addiction
is and imagine how terrible this is for the whole world to just say, we ain't finna talk about that. We're gonna move on to something else.
Well, I mean, it's still going on. It ain't like it's, when you say the crack years, I mean, they still here.
But when I say we ain't gonna talk about it, I go to therapy. I go to therapy. There's a lot of people that go to therapy.
But I watch them. They probably ain't talking about that though.
I watch a gang of people who talking about therapy shows and relationships and all this kind of stuff, and everybody's talking about why can't men do this and why can't women do this and all this kind of stuff. Guess what? Ain't nobody talking about though. Why is it we can't? Well, guess what? No, nobody want to talk about. Let me tell you exactly what happened. We was at grandmama's house and we was having dinners and everything was good. And we was over there and the kids was running around, all playing across the street and shit. And everybody was happy. We were drinking water after water hose, spraying on your face. And all of a sudden, and then, what's that funny smell? It ain't like the stuff that they smelling around the corner and laughing. This smells really different. And what it wasn't even crack. It was crack mixed with liquor from the person who had been smoking the crack, not bathing, not doing nothing, just being just nasty in the disease of that mental health. And that smell was terrible. I'm not sure if you remember. You ever smelled that smell?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, this is new here. And then you had to stay away from that particular person. And then all of a sudden, the family used to be 50 people on Sunday. It is now down to 30. And 30 is in and out now. And now we used to be laughing and all night and go home and go. Now it's a lot of yelling going on up in here, and it's some and grandmama and them is I can hear whispers of TVs missing and DVDs and jury stuff, and
So now people getting to-go plates.
now the go plates are faster, and we still trying to hang though. We
Yeah,
still
we
trying.
ain't staying long as we used
Yeah,
to.
we ain't. And as our kids getting older, now we're the parents, and it was like one grandkid, two grandkid. Now we got a new grandmama house. You know, we're not going to grandmama house no more. Grandmama. We got a new grandmama house now, and it's safer because we ain't around all that drama. And nobody thought about, okay, how is this affecting our children not being able to hold relationships? Why are we now seeing you married 2 years, you married a year, you married 6 months? You know, ain't no more. Let's Roberta Flack this one and have a party to get them to stay together. You know, you remember them songs like that? You remember I'm ready to love you forever. You know what he was talking about? He's talking about you doing me wrong, but I'm going to wait on you to do right, and I'm going to stay with you. Are you ready to love me? Lionel Richie, do it to me one more time. Dude, that's the stuff we grew up on. Those were the songs that we were listening to during the crack years as the family was being destroyed. It was, you know what I'm talking about? It was like right. It was like a perfect blend of blinding, you know.
So you said it was a good,
It was the way it was. I'm like, I think we were blinded.
good music and some bad music out at the same time.
Now, guess what though? The bad music hadn't made it yet. I remember the bad music, and I ain't finna say it was bad music. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say what I say. I remember seeing one of my classmates. Well, he wasn't my classmate. He was a year ahead of me. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Hey, Pert, we played football together." He knew I was a nerd, Challenge Bowl. He knew that, and he was like, "Hey, man, you ever heard this song?" And I was like, "What you talking about?" He put the headphones on me, and it was Colors, Ice-T. And I was listening to it, and I was like, Colors. You know, I'm like, that's smooth. Here's the thing. This dude, and I'd say probably I'm in 10th grade maybe, you know, he was like the head running back. I'm like protege, looked up to him. So he listening to that, I need to listen to that. He telling me this is the bad song, I'm going to listen to it. I then took my MC Hammer and put it over there on the side and got my Ice-T now. I'm listening to Colors. And then I started listening to Ice-T, and I saw his picture, and I was like, hold up. Don't I know this dude? Hold on, ain't this the breaking guy? So I go back and I look, and this is pop, lock, and breaking. Ice-T. But this song is jamming. And it never crosses my mind that, damn it, an actor as the rapper.
And he was in Breaking.
Breaking 1, Breaking 2.
Wasn't in Breaking, was he?
Shit, you need to pull it up. Turbo and Ozone.
Yeah, what was he doing?
Rapping. He was the
yeah.
And they had the glove on, and we the number one on the floor. Get down,
But he wasn't doing all that, was he?
You need to go watch Breaking. You need to go.
I mean, I remember the Breaking, turbos on.
Yeah. Now he wasn't actually. I don't
think he was doing all that with you.
Yes, he did do this here, and
he was pop locking as well.
That's what you had to do. That's what you did back then. But I'm saying though, he wasn't Ice-T.
Yeah.
With my chain swing, thug man, he grew into that. He grew into it just like I grew from, Challenge Bowl into
what is Challenge Bowl?
Academic Bowl. Push the button. Cumulus Clouds.
Oh.
Answer questions and stuff like Jeopardy, but for high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That, had to say academic bowl, I guess. But again, grew into a new person. So, you know, he started out with breaking and then he ended up in colors. And that
Now he
now he criminal, now he police. So once again, you grow, you grow, you change, and the things that we do affect things, and that's what I'm talking about. Like I said, I ain't pointing fingers at nobody. I'm just discussing what happened.
Right.
And what happened was these new things started to come into the radar. You know, once you have those new things start to come into the radar, new things are gonna start happening. You ready to get out of here, man? Well, the LA rapper kicked the New York rapper out the way. You know, we were up here kidding, playing LL Cool J, then you had the East Coast, West Coast beefings coming in. And next thing you know, we rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, you know, and that was for a while. They kind of owned that, you know, so get on up out of here. Thank you again, LB.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, it came back on us, man. And once we started dealing with the fact that it's not going to be pretty, nothing that we do here. I'm not expecting y'all to come in here and just start talking about, hey, I was on drugs and this is what happened. No, I'm not expecting any of that at all. I'm starting the conversation that needs to be started. I'm very grateful for the people who are coming in and taking part in it. They truly understand the importance of having this conversation. And again, we've been trying to figure out what happened to grandma and granddaddy house. We're trying to figure out what's going on with these kids. We've been trying to figure out what's going on with our relationships. I like to say, I unfortunately found it. So, Lamar, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Just want to say that, you know, we appreciate you if you view this, and also appreciate it if you begin to have the conversation, because it's definitely an uphill battle, and we'll talk more about it. Appreciate y'all.
Definitely here. Big Quan with Gobsmack Visual Media. And hey, that one right there.